cuffs are off, man. Get right, too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna...
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant from NFL Network.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
Marking often, but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, don't roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves up.
What up, world? Welcome back to the Get Right Fantasy Network. This is our Sunday morning show with me, Classic Mike. It's Sunday, November 19th, week 11 of the NFL season. Excited to get you guys through all of that has happened since our Friday show. Today, we will go over week 11 start-sit questions throughout the show, so throw them in the chat. I will go over actives and inactives players prior to game time, roughly around 11:30. And I will give you guys my DFS value picks for those that are interested in DFS this week. So keep those questions coming through the show, and I will get to them as we go. For those that are new to the channel, make sure you guys check out our ticker right down here. It'll give you a breakdown of when our shows are. We have our Monday show that will be this Monday, tomorrow. Overreaction and waiver wire targets with Rasta and Frank. Wednesday, you get Rasta and Frank back with roster management, buy-sell targets. We'll see about this Wednesday. Oh, no, we're going to be doing Wednesday show because we're going to be giving away a ring for our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. The video link is right here. Make sure you guys check out that particular link. We are giving away a ring from TrophySmack.com. There we are right there. We are giving away this wonderful ring for reaching 1,000 subscribers. So please make sure you guys check out that video that I just posted. It's in the chat. Make sure you guys get in there, watch, put in the hashtags. And like I said, we're going to be giving that ring away. It's a great ring from TrophySmack.com. You can get these belts, trophies, as well as a Kirk Cousins chain if you'd like. So make sure you guys check out TrophySmack.com. Use promo code GETRIGHT, and they will help you out at checkout. Now, we're going to go over some news and notes, but I got some people in the chat that want to ask their questions, so I want to get to them. We got Dustin Poole. What's going on, man? Good morning. Good morning to you, sir. He goes, I need two wide receivers and one flex position, full PPR. Wide receivers are Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Tank Dell, and Rashid Rice. Running back is Ken Walker. So I think for your flex spot, you have to put Ken Walker in. It's hard to say no to someone like Ken Walker. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you to put in the running back in the flex just because they're more guaranteed the target and more guaranteed the touch. And he gets the bulk of the carries. I understand that Zach Charbonnet has kind of stepped up a little bit, but at the end of the day, he still gets most of those touches especially out of those, 5 receivers. So out of the 2 receivers, I mean, the smartest answer to that is Adams and Smith. But the Devontae Smith game, they currently have bad weather in this particular game, a lot of wind, a little bit of rain. I think the point total is going to be a little bit lower than what we think it might be. Tank Dell is actually in a good scenario today. Adams is in a tough spot against the Jets. Jets are actually a team that you would rather run on than pass. Or sorry, I disagree. No, this is Miami. My bad. I'm thinking of last week. I actually think that Adams isn't a horrible play against the Dolphins. So Adams, I think you can load up. I think it's really between Tank Dell and Rice. So for me, I think I'm going to lean a little bit more towards Tank Dell against the Cardinals. Positive game script for them in the context that they could be throwing the ball a little bit. Stroud has been on fire. Smith is kind of taking a back seat to A.J. Brown. with Dallas Goedert out, that could be, that could change. But like I said, in that game, I think it's going to be a little bit more run game than it will be the pass game, just because of the weather. So I'm going to lean a little bit more towards Tank Dell. They're roughly around the same in my rankings. I think I have Dell. Let me double check my rankings I have Tank Dell at 22, and I have Devontae Smith a little bit higher at 13. So I think it's a coin flip between the two. I think Dell has the higher floor. Smith has the higher ceiling. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with Adams and Smith, just player studs if needed. I think those are the two guys that you can go with. If you don't feel comfortable with Walker, then you can maybe put in Tank Dell. I do think that Tank Dell right now could do okay. So I think it's really between Tank Dell and Ken Walker after thinking about it a little bit. So hopefully that helps. I know I kind of went on a rant and went around in a circle, but I think it's Adams, Smith, and Ken Walker for your two spots. But Tank Dell could be in consideration for either your flex or Smith. I think it's based on how you feel about it. I'm in between on it. I like the Houston offense a lot, so I'm a little bit jaded. I do have Devontae Smith and playing him only in one league. Dell I don't have a lot of, but I have Nico Collins, who I like. So that's where I kind of go back and forth on it. Rice has been on fire too, but yeah, that's a tough one. Those three at the end are tough. And I can't see myself playing Rice over Smith. And I can't see myself playing Dell over Smith. And I can't see myself playing either of them over Walker. So, yeah, I think it's Adams, Smith, and Walker. So, Nino Pina, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here. We have, what's up? He says, what up, man? He goes, should Singletary be a must start over Ridley for the flex? Yes. The answer is yes. Like I said, most situations I'm going to tell you to play the running back over the wide receiver. It's very rare that I'll tell you to go the other way unless it's a PPR monster guy. But in this particular case, I think Singletary is due for – he had a great game last week. He continues to take over that starting role, and I think he should do well this week. So – all righty, let's get into some new news and notes that happened over the weekend since our Friday show. So teams on a bye this week, we have the Colts, the Falcons, the Patriots, the Saints. So get any of those guys out your lineup. They are no longer there. Next, we're going to move on to some news from Cleveland. Tackle Damon Jones, he's listed as questionable. He's expected to play, so he should be helping out DTR on his, I think, right side. And that's a big lift to help him out. What else we got? We got Alexander Madison. He's questionable with concussion, but he's expected to play. He did pass concussion protocol, so he will be playing today, Sunday night game against Denver. So be aware he should get the majority. He was a full participant on Friday, so it looks like he is good to go. Michael Wilson for the Cardinals is listed as questionable, but due to a shoulder injury, he suffered a setback in practice this week and is not expected to play against the Texans. So get him out of your lineup. Noah Brown is listed as questionable for Sunday due to a knee injury. He is unlikely to play as well. There was weird reports throughout the week that it was either he was or wasn't playing, and now officially they're saying that he's not expected to play. So he will not be in your lineups after his big week. Keenan Allen, he's listed as questionable due to a shoulder injury. You got to remember, he's had 2 shoulder injuries in the past with the AC joint. He actually has his bone sticking up in his shoulder, if you've ever seen him without his pads on. He's gone through it before. He played through the injury last week. He should be fine. He knows the injury. He knows how to handle it. I think he'll be fine against the Packers. Garrett Wilson is listed as questionable versus the Bills. He says he will play. So expect him to play. Like I said on our Friday show, it is a 4:00 game. So in this case, always have a backup. You never know. He could be out on the field and, through warmups and something happens. So just always have a pivot option. Always. Seahawks, Tyler Lockett is listed as questionable, but there is optimism he goes today. He'll have a pregame workout. He's considered more of a game time decision. So Tyler Lockett is somebody that you should definitely keep your eye on. He does play at 4 o'clock, and that is another person that you should have a pivot option for if you are relying on him. To move on to some news from teams that are on a bye this week, the Falcons will start Desmond Ridder going forward, beginning with their next game against the Saints next week, handing the ball back to their original starter. They're going to be going to Desmond Ridder, as per Ian Rappaport. So it looks like Heineke couldn't steal the job away, and it looks like Ridder gets another chance. So we'll get to wait and see how that goes. For games today, Dolphins running back Devon Achane is back and expected to be a full go and a key contributor today in the backfield with Raheem Mostert. This per Cameron Wolf. So he should be good to go and, getting his normal workload. The plan for running back Rico Dotel, the running back for the Cowboys, he is active today. He was added to the injury report with an ankle injury on Saturday, but he should be good to go to back up Tony Pollard. We'll be talking about Tony in a little bit, but that is the news and notes from this weekend. Please make sure if you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat, and I will answer them as we go. Don't forget, we have our 1,000 subscriber giveaway video that we are doing. We are giving this away on Wednesday this coming week on our Wednesday show. So make sure you guys are here for it. This is what we are giving away right there. So make sure you guys check out our 1,000 subscriber giveaway so that we can get you guys this ring right here. This is an awesome thing to give away. So make sure you guys check that out. Also, make sure, if you can, if you're not already signed up, make sure you guys check out UnderdogFantasy.com. When you do, they will double your first deposit when you use the promo code GetBright. So make sure you guys check out Underdog Fantasy, use the promo code GetBright, and they will double your first deposit. They have also a special out, but I know it's not this one, so I'm not going to put it up again. Unfortunately, it's for Joe Burrow, the one that I have, but it is not for that. It's something else. So make sure you guys check it out. Here's a couple of the states that it is in and isn't. I do know that this needs to be updated because I know that you cannot in New York anymore. So those in New York need to, I thought this might be updated, but those in New York, unfortunately, can no longer do Underdog Fantasy. You can still do FanDuel and stuff like that, but you cannot do Underdog anymore. I won't get into why. Look it up. There's a fun story. I forgot who wrote it, but there's a story on why and everything. Also, check out our affiliate podcast, the Fantasy Frontline podcast with Tim and AJ, as well as the Check Down podcast with Cody McGoats and Shirtless Pat. They go on every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys check out the Check Down podcast and keep an eye out for the Dead Zone Fantasy Show with our very own Dem Boys. He should be coming out with content shortly. So make sure you guys keep an eye on those affiliate channels. So today is going to be a fun day of games. I'm excited for a bunch of these particular games. We are currently, I think, the game at 4 o'clock between the Jets and the Bills. I think that should be an interesting game to watch. Get to see if Josh Allen recovers from losing Ken Dorsey and can correct his particular, turnover troubles. Hopefully that can happen, but we'll have to wait and see. KJ Flint in the house. What is going on, KJ? He goes Puka, Garrett Wilson, Marquise Brown, bench 1 in PPR. Okay. I think it's going to be Brown. Puka, I think, should do okay today with Stafford back. Garrett Wilson going against the Buffalo Bills. I feel okay about. Bills have been struggling against the wide receiver. Their pass rush isn't what it used to be without Matt Milano, and it's kind of going downhill. They've lost a couple guys on their defensive line as well. So I think Garrett Wilson should be a decent play today. Like I said, that game is, right now, I think if I remember correctly, Buffalo is in a situation where I think they're only favored by a few. So at this point, I feel very confident that they can do okay. And I honestly think it's only because they're at home. So I think that Garrett could do well. I think Puka can do well. I think you just play your studs in that particular matchup. Ray W., what's going on, Ray? Almost didn't recognize you with your change in your picture, but that's okay. I know it's hard to put up Barkley when the Giants are in a rough spot. So he goes, what's up, Mike? Pick 2. Brian Robinson, Breece Hall, or Jordan Addison, full PPR. Okay. Brian Robinson for sure going against our Giants. Unfortunately, it's death taxes and play your running back against the Giants. Unfortunately, we have a hard time with stopping the run, even though we have one of the better fronts and very underrated front 7 for the Giants. But right now, I think Brian Robinson should do okay today. Breece Hall is the other guy that I'm going to go with here, going against the Bills, who have struggled against the run as well. Jordan Addison going against Denver. We saw what Denver did against the Bills. So it's hard for me to trust it, even though he's been on fire lately, especially with Justin Jefferson out. So this is a really tough one. If I was going to go, if I would pick just to swap out somebody, it would probably be Breece Hall and Jordan Addison. I think that's I think that might do better for you if you're going to have to pick one of the two. I think it's going to be I think they're going to lean on the run for the Jets. I think they're going to try to keep Josh Allen off the field, play defense. That's their strong suit. So I think, you know what, I'm going to change it up. Breece Hall and Jordan Addison. I think those are your best bets for those particular plays. I think Jordan Addison should do just fine with Joshua Dobbs throwing him the ball. Standard League. Oh, we got Richard in the house. What's going on, Richard? Glad to have you here. He goes Standard League, running back, Connor or Jerome Ford. Okay. Both are really good options today. I like both guys. So let me go to my rankings and let me go to my defensive stuff here. I got Jerome Ford at 20. I have James Conner at, I raised him up too. Where did he go? Okay, so I have Ford at 20, James Conner at 17. So they're pretty close in rankings. Houston is 29th against the run, while the Steelers are 27th. So this is a really tight one. I think either or could do fine. It's really who do you think will get a touchdown and who gets the volume here. I think Connor probably gets the volume. Their point spread, I think, is 48, if memory served me right. I have to go look back, but I would probably lean on Connor just because they think that game is going to be a little bit more high scoring than the one in Cleveland. I think the one in Cleveland is only like 36 or something like that. I got to look back at my notes, but I would go with Connor here just because they see that game as being more of a shootout than the Pittsburgh Steelers game. Even though Jerome Ford is a good choice today in most leagues, I think I'm going to go with Connor here. So I go with Connor. Play Connor. All righty. So we are almost 10 minutes away from actives and inactives. So make sure you guys stay with us for the next 10 minutes. I will give you guys the actives and inactives prior to game time. We are only waiting on a few guys. One is Michael Wilson. The other is, who else do we have on our list today? Michael Wilson, we already know about Keenan Allen. He should be fine, but we're going to keep an eye on that one as well. Alexander Madison, we won't know this particular minute. So I think that's the only one we're really keeping an eye on. Garrett Wilson as well. Hopefully we'll get some news on that, but that's at 4 o'clock. Tyler Lockett, I think, is also at 4 o'clock, so we won't get any information on that. So, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, I was going to say, I knew the point total was, like, in the low 30s. So, yeah, don't bother with Jerome Ford. I think that Connor might be the better bet to get points. The Houston game, I think, is at 48, if memory serves me. Let me actually pull it up for you guys. Yeah, it's 48 points. So I would stick to that for the moment. So I'm getting news that Garrett Wilson's injury, he is not 100% with that elbow injury, but is expected to play. So the Garrett Wilson pick, KJ, that's going to be a tough one. Like I said, it's really tough to say, is Garrett Wilson at 75% better than Marquise Brown at 100%? And Marquise Brown is facing the Houston Texans, who tend to be a better pass rush than people give them credit for. They are 17th against the wide receiver as of late. So I think Puka is the only guy that's kind of a good bet. I think it's really between the other two. So take that into account. He will play, but he will not be 100%. Granted, it's not his legs. That's a good thing. It's his, I know he needs his arms to catch, but at the end of the day, they can do what they can to kind of make it so that he can catch. The hard part is re-aggravation of the injury. So if you don't feel comfortable playing Garrett Wilson in that particular scenario because of that, I would then switch out to Brown. But you're going to have to play Brown prior to Garrett. So there's not like you can pivot to somebody else. Believe me, I'm in that situation in our Dynasty League that I'm in. I have that same problem. I do have Garrett Wilson. Unfortunately, I don't have really much behind him. So I'm kind of in a situation where I kind of have to play him. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes you're just put in scenarios where you have no other choice. Shit, I'm playing Tommy DeVito. Like who would think by this time in the season that I would be playing Tommy DeVito? And who would think that I would actually be upset for trading away Kyler Murray and needing him at this point? So it is what it is. You kind of have to go with the flow and kind of work with what you got, right? So make sure you guys, if you have any other questions, throw them in the chat. I am here to help you guys out. We're going to do our DFS value picks just after we get our actives and inactives. I want to make sure I know who's in, who's out. I have already made my choices based on that, just because I have an idea of who already is in and who is already out. If you guys keep an eye out on the injury reports, you can pretty much get an idea of who's going to be in and who's going to be out. There shouldn't really be any surprise. And make sure you guys check out our private sleeper channel. That's all in the description below. I post as much as I can the injury reports every day that I can, except for Sunday. I don't do it on Sunday just because I'm here giving you the information. And during the games, I don't think you guys want to get 1,000 of them because you'll end up getting those alerts anyway if you're on sleeper, so there's really no point. But at the end of the day, if during the week, usually I try to either Monday, Tuesday, usually Monday through Friday, I try to get you as much information as possible. Saturday, I'll give you a wrap up of everything because sometimes Saturdays I get a little busy. It's my day off, and on top of that, I tend to, don't have a ton of time, so I try to wrap it up with one big thing. I did that today and I did that last week and I liked it. So I think I'm going to do that for now on for the, I think I might do that for now on for the Saturday. But yeah, keep an eye out. I do injury news all week and you can pretty much get an idea of what's going on. You'll know from, Wednesdays are always light days. You'll always get a bajillion questionables and then they're all going away by Thursday because they all either come back limited. So Thursday is always the better day to keep an eye on injuries. Either Thursday, Friday are the 2 days that we have to focus on. A lot of guys, if they don't practice Wednesday or Thursday and they don't practice Friday, you can automatically assume that there's a good probability they're not playing, except if their name is Derrick Henry or DeAndre Hopkins. Both of them pretty much will have situations where they don't practice at all during the week and they will play on Sunday. They get a ton of volume, and that's just how they condition their bodies. And Mike Vrabel has no problem playing vets and letting them play through those particular injuries. So just always keep an eye on the injury report. It is a very is a very important thing, and you can pretty much gauge how things are going to go. Who was another guy that I knew that wasn't going to play? Oh, Noah Brown. He didn't practice at all this week. Was not expecting him to play at all this week. Not at all. So I knew ahead of time. You know, one guy I was trying to figure out was Nico Collins. He was limited in practice Wednesday, Thursday, and then he practiced in full on Friday. He's good to go. So as long as you can follow those trends, you can pretty much get it. I understand it's tedious, it's annoying, but if you have the right sources, you don't have to worry. And I'm one of those. So make sure you guys check out our private sleeper channel. I'll make sure to give you guys the best information possible so that you guys are able to win your leagues. All right, we got about 5 minutes until we get the actives and inactives. Like I said, there's really not a ton that we are really waiting for. I think it's just Michael Wilson that we really can have an idea about, just because of the fact that it is, the only 1 o'clock game that we have. But other than that, all righty, we got Kyle Singer in the house. What's going on? He goes, my guy, Gabe Davis or Brandon Cooks. All right, we're going to the bottom of the pile on this one. It's full PPR. I'm gonna have to lean Brandon Cooks here, and that's sad. Brandon Cooks has been getting a little bit more involved lately, going against the Carolina Panthers. Panthers are strangely really good against the wide receiver. They're third in points allowed to the wide receiver, which is actually pretty crazy. But I'm still going to lean. I'm going to lean that just because the Cowboys tend to have a more pass-heavy offense lately. Gabe Davis. I love Gabe Davis. We gave away his jersey at the beginning, last year. And he is somebody that I've really been a fan of, but unfortunately, fandom can only mean so much. He hasn't really shown it on the field. So for me, I have to lean Brandon Cooks here. I think he's the best bet. I know it's the bottom of the pile, but he is definitely a better shot. Gabe Davis definitely has the higher ceiling, of course, just because he can boom at any point in time. So that's how I feel with it. I think that Cooks has a safer floor. Gabe Davis definitely has the higher ceiling. But I think I'm going to have to lean Brandon Cooks here. It's tough. That's a tough one. Those ones at the bottom, man. I'm playing a guy that's playing Brandon Cooks today. I hope that's not the case. But I'll give you an example. They are playing me, so that's one of those things that you can pretty much guarantee somebody on that roster that I'm playing is going to have a touchdown. I'm playing Zach Charbonnet, and I'm playing against Brandon Cooks. He's just in a really bad bye situation, and he has to play all these particular players. He can't really cut anybody because half his team is on a bye. So in this particular case, if I got to pick somebody to go off against me, it's probably Brandon Cooks. But like I said, I'm only joking on that. But based on my own, thought process, Brandon Cooks is probably your best bet. All righty, almost 2 minutes until the actives and inactives. Normally I get a couple that pop through prior to it, but I haven't seen anything as of the moment. Like I said, we'll do DFS value picks shortly after I get all the actives and inactives, break it all down for you to get you guys, for those who like DFS, I do. I like it. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. It's a good getaway from what we, do on a weekly basis. It's just fun to, I don't have a lot of those players. So for me, it's fun to put in players I don't have so that I can do well. It's fun to play. I do a thing weekly with my brother and a couple of my buddies. You can set them up on FanDuel, have a whole thing, and basically just have fun with your friends. It's a lot of fun. So make sure you guys, set those up with your buddies. DFS contests weekly are fun. And we do Monday. We actually do the tournament Sunday through Monday. So we play all the 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, Sunday night, and Monday night games instead of what they normally do, which is just the 1 and 4s. So it's a little bit more people involved, but it makes it a lot harder. So, Hunter Johnson, what's going on, man? He goes Gibbs or A-Chain. Oh, God. That's a toughie. That's like asking, Jerry Rice or Randy Moss. Like those are tough ones right there. I think I'm gonna go with the hot hand and go Jamar Gibbs. I think that's the safer play. I think Achane is definitely the higher ceiling, but I think Gibbs has the higher floor. So I'm gonna have to go with Gibbs. I'm gonna lean Gibbs. Laporta or Ingram? Oh, why are you picking ones that I have a lot of? So Laporta and Ingram, I pretty much have playing for every team I own. I have them on every team. And I'm playing Laporta in all of those matchups. Just like the matchup a little bit better. I like Ingram. We got Hunter again with yeah, I was gonna say that they have recently, but who is it against? I forgot if it was anyone significant, but I don't think it was anyone like Gibbs and Montgomery. And this is their first time meeting each other. The line is better. I think their line, the offensive lines they faced haven't been that good either. I wouldn't read too much into that. Tua and Kyler Murray. Oof, I'm going to go Tua here. Tua is probably the better matchup against the Raiders. He's going to have a rough time against that front, but it's going to be fun. The Schmitty, what's going on, man? He goes Herbert, Hunt, or Chandler. Pick one to start. It won't be Chandler, just because I know Madison will play. Kareem Hunt against the Steelers might not be a horrible option, but I think it's going to be Khalil Herbert against the Lions. It's a tough matchup just because Lions have been playing well lately. Lions are there we are 24th against the running back. So for me, I think I'm going to load up Herbert coming off an injury. All right, we got a few actives and inactives coming through the wire. Inactives for the Jaguars. We already know all those people, nothing outside the normal. Bears inactives aren't missing much. Johnson? No, he's 23. I was going to say, if he was inactive, that would have been weird. Nope. Looks like Jair Alexander for the Pack is out. Gary and Walker are going to be in, so that's good for them. Good boost to their linebacking core. Browns inactives is only Marquise Godwin, Goodwin, the only guy that you really would care about in any shape, way, or form, but I don't think it matters. Lions inactives are Jonah Jackson, their guard. He was the only guy that I thought of prior that would be active or inactive. A-Chain is officially active, so he should be there. Looks like Derwin Smythe is inactive, and Braxton Berrios is also inactive today. Looks like Deontay Foreman is active today. He will play. He was questionable with an ankle injury. Keenan Allen is active. He will play today. Looks like Treylon Burks for the Titans will be out today. So we already kind of knew that ahead of time. Antonio Gibson will be out for the Washington Commanders, as well as their fullback. No one other than that significantly. Let's go off field. Yates's actives and inactives. It looks like Keenan Allen, Deontay Foreman, Rico Dwally, and Zay Jones are going to be official. Wait, Zay Jones is officially active? I thought Jones was inactive. Wait a minute. Very confused here. I thought Jones was inactive today. Thought he was already declared out. Why am I misreading that? Pat Freiermuth is active. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just trying to give you guys the right information. I don't understand. I thought he was listed as out today. Interesting. So Zay Jones is active today, which I'm very shocked about. Sorry that I kind of made it a thing. I don't remember him. I remember him being listed on the report this week as inactive and out. Interesting. All right. I thought so. Okay. It was weird. I thought it was he was going to be not playing. Well, I think to be fair, I think it's been one of those scenarios where he's been questionable and out most of the time. He's a big part of the thing. And yes, I thought the arrest too with the domestic battery what made people think he would be out. But at the same time, he was, yeah. Terrace Marshall will not play against the Cowboys today. He is inactive. That's somebody I wasn't expecting. Terrace Marshall will be out for the Carolina Panthers. I said Pat Freiermuth will be active, so he will be playing. Noah Brown, we already knew, is inactive. Jeff Wilson is inactive today as well. Antonio Gibson as well with Jalen Guyton and Jair Alexander. So, yeah, I was going to say, I think that might help Ridley. Just because Zay Jones, having all four of those guys on the field is deadly. Those guys are incredibly good together when they all are on the field. Zay Jones, though, might be a fun target to go after in DFS. I didn't have him on my list. He will be shortly once I get an idea of where he is, because if he's that low, I might actually, yeah, he's $5,500. I might go for that. So we're going to throw him in, and I might be changing some lineups. I think this is a great situation for him, and he's somebody that Trevor Lawrence targets in the red zone as well. And for that price, whew, don't get me started, KJ. I have Trevor Lawrence I have 7 leagues. He's in 3. Very disappointing. He's up there with Joe Burrow in where I had disappointing QBs. So, all right. So, Cameron Wolf brings up a good point. Jeff Wilson being a healthy inactive is an example of how good Miami feels about Devon Achane active. So just be aware of that. I don't see anything other than what we've talked about. Noah Brown is inactive, which we already figured out. All right, cool. So those are the actives and inactives. But yeah, don't even get me started, bro. I did a whole thing on the Jaguars with the Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. I broke down the whole team, and I was under the impression that Ridley would be the lead target share guy. Nope. Been going to Christian Kirk. I did think Zay Jones would be the third guy on the list, but even Evan Ingram has jumped up a little bit more than I thought he would. So it's really just Trevor Lawrence hasn't really been playing great, and it's unfortunate. I thought that team would definitely transition to be more of a passing offense with those 3 guys at the helm. So, or 4 guys on the helm. Hayden Hurst is also out. I don't think a lot of people are playing him either. CJ Henderson, their cornerback, will be out. That's kind of significant for the Cowboys. But so KJ goes, T-Law isn't looking at Ridley hardly at all on any play. Yeah, and that's odd. I think a lot of people overreacted to a lot of the videos in the first couple games. Ridley was the guy in the beginning, and then kind of just fell off after that. Don't know why. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. All righty. So let me bring up my screen so that we can go over some DFS value picks as well. But keep throwing your questions in the chat, and I will get to them as we go. So Smokey the Cat, what's up, man? He goes, what's up, everybody? Touchdown parlay, Kelsey, Pollard, Eckler. Any favorites for you? All right. So, fun little fact. I mean, if you guys saw the thumbnail, I had Taylor Swift in there. Taylor Swift is actually not going to be at this particular game, from what I keep understanding. My wonderful wife is a Swiftie and has told me that Taylor Swift had to reschedule her particular concert that she had from, I think, today or yesterday to Monday. So that means unless she can get from, I think she's in Rio. So if she can get from Rio to Kansas City in a matter of, oh, wait, it's at the same time. So I don't see that happening. Families are meeting and all that fun stuff. That might be a little bit like that, but we've seen Kelsey go off all the time, even without her there. So I'm not really worried. I think Kelsey might be a good play. Eckler is probably the other favorite. If you're asking me for other touchdown parlay guys, maybe Christian McCaffrey you want to throw in there. McCaffrey's another guy that I could definitely see getting a touchdown today, trying to get that streak back up after he lost out on 19 in a row. So I think he is somebody. Trying to think. Tyreek Hill is another guy. I think Tyreek Hill could definitely be in. So if you're looking to just like grab a bunch of people that might have touchdowns today, those are the guys. But yeah, Pollard is definitely somebody I'm keeping my eye on today. I'm hoping that he can come out of his slump today. So let's start with some quarterback DFS value picks for those that are into DFS value. We got Josh Allen at the very top with $9,000. But I'm going to go down the list, and I think I'm going to go in this particular range with a lot of our picks. I think C.J. Stroud has been on fire lately, $8,000 going against the Cardinals. Not a bad choice right there. Jared Goff against the Bears, $7,900 is a great value. Sam Howell against the Giants, $77,000. Or sorry, $7,700. So he should be a good choice as well. My other favorite is Brock Purdy at $7,500. I think he is a pretty good option against the Buccaneers. He's been playing well as of late, so I do like that particular matchup. And Justin Fields, coming off his injury, is $7,400 going against Detroit. I think that's a good option as well. All righty. Let's go to Blake Roberts. What's going on, man? He goes, top of the morning to you, and top of the morning to you there, Blake. He goes 10-team PPR flex spot. Mostert, Jones, or Nico Collins. Thanks and good luck. Thanks and good luck to you there, Blake. I think I'm going to see, this is a really tough one for me. Mostert should be taking a small backseat, but not crazy. He still does well in his particular situations. I don't trust Aaron Jones as far as I can throw him, even though the matchup is good against the Chargers. I'm just not a fan. It's definitely one of those two I prefer in most situations like that. Nico Collins, I love his average depth of target is insane, and he tends to be getting the ball a little bit more. Do I go with my arch nemesis? Chargers are 20th against the running back at this point in half PPR. Let's see what they are in full PPR. All right. So Chargers are still 20th against the run. Mostert going against the Raiders. Raiders are 27th. Lots of points to go around for that particular offense. Lots of cooks in the kitchen. Aaron Jones is pretty much the only thing they got out in Green Bay. Nico Collins, whenever I see his name in one of these, I always want to pick him. I think I'm going to have to lean. I think I'm leaning Mostert. I can't go against my own beliefs. I don't trust the Packers. I don't trust their offense and what they're doing. I feel a lot more confident in Mostert and the offense than I do in Aaron Jones. If I'm wrong, believe me, I'll be willing to take the heat. But honestly, I prefer Raheem Mostert. I know if Rasta was here, he would tell you Aaron Jones, but I just can't do it. Can't do it. Just got word that Raiders left tackle Colton Miller is out for today, so that is significant. Dolphins are going to have their ears pinned, so that should be fun to watch. Dolphins should be one of the defenses you should be keeping your eye on. But yeah, let's go with Mostert. Just more positive game script. I'm just going to use that. I think Mostert's the better option. Oh, that's a tough one for me. And I have that scenario somewhere too. Or I have the Mostert and Nico Collins situation somewhere too. And I think I'm playing Nico, but I think I'm playing him as a wide receiver in that scenario. I think I have Mostert as the flex. I think it's my wife's team, actually. Let me see what I got here. So I don't want to give you advice that I'm not going to be doing if I wouldn't do it myself. I actually have both. I have both on the bench, but I do have I have better options available. So that's why I'm doing that. I think a harder question would be like Barkley or something like that. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick with Mostert here. Definitely stick with Mostert. All right, let's go to the running backs for DFS value. You can go and pay up for $10,000 for Christian McCaffrey if you really want to. I don't suggest that. You can do guys like Eckler, Gibbs. They're a little bit cheaper. But we're going to go a little bit farther down this list. And we're going to go right here to Tony Pollard against Carolina, $6,900. That's a great price point for him. Carolina is 30th against the run. If there is a get-right game for him, it is this one. And if they just realize that the Panthers are better against the pass than they are against the run, this should be the game, hopefully. So Tony Pollard, I'm throwing in $6,900. James Conner as well against the Texans at $6,800 is a good bet for you today as well. Jerome Ford, you can throw in there as well with the Cleveland going against the Steelers. So that's a good price point for him as well. Another guy I like today is Devin Singletary at $6,500 going against Arizona. I mean, come on. Arizona is 23rd against the run. And, right now Singletary has been on fire. He can't get away from that. Another guy that I like here, you can throw in James Cook. If you're going to do anything against the Jets, it's run the ball. $6,200, change an offensive coordinator. Maybe they see a little bit more run. James Cook at $6,200 is not a bad choice. Another guy is Khalil Herbert at $6,000 going against the Detroit Lions. He's probably the best price point at this point, just because everyone below him I don't trust. So I like his particular value at $6,000. Another guy, and I'm just throwing that out there, where is he? Oh, he's at 5,000. Where is he? Right? Yeah. Oh, there he is. Zach Charbonnet against the Rams, mainly because he's playing, he's going against me, and that usually means fantasy points. So I think I'm going to go with that right there. All righty. So let's move on to the wide receiver value picks. We have a little more here. You can stay at the top right here at 9,800 with Tyreek Hill if you'd like. Amon-Ra, 8,900. Guys like that, I have no problem, picking if you want to go with the top end. But if you want to have some value a little bit lower in your particular price point, I would go with guys like Deebo Samuel going against the Buccaneers. This is a good match with Brock Purdy if you're looking to do something where you get the stack. This is a good stack that I like for good value. Another one is Tank Dell right below him at $7,000. Again, going against the Carolina Panthers. Not Carolina Panthers, the Arizona Cardinals. This is a good price point for him, and I think he can do well in this particular spot. Another guy is Christian Kirk going against Tennessee. Tennessee has been notoriously bad against the wide receiver and can only only do better. He can only have a better matchup. I mean, this is a great matchup for him. Christian Kirk, $6,900. Definitely someone I suggest in this particular matchup. DJ Moore, $6,800 as well, going against the Lions. I really do see this game being more run through DJ Moore than anybody, especially with Fields on the field. Terry McLaurin is my next guy. It's $6,800 going against the Giants. They got to throw, and Sam Howell throws the ball a ton, and normally it's been going to Terry McLaurin. $6,800. They're definitely beatable, the Giants, against guys like him. Who else we got? We got Chris Godwin right here at $6,500 going against San Francisco. San Francisco's been having a rough time against the pass, so against the wide receiver most of the time. Right here, Chris Godwin, not a bad option. Another guy that I like a lot, and one of the rare Packers that I will pick, Jaden Reed, $6,000 going against the Chargers, who have been a sieve offense against the pass. Honestly, I do like this right here. This is a great price point for him. Curtis Samuel, $5,900 against the Giants. He's the other commander that I would go for. Dotson's hard to pick. I do like Samuel a little bit more. Samuel at $5,900 is a steal. Brandon Cooks is another guy. If you want to go on the lower end, $6,900 is another guy. But now we just got one more added to my list, and that's Zay Jones now that he's active. Yay! This is why we wait, because I wouldn't have suggested him until now. Zay Jones has been a red zone monster the first few weeks that he was in. He's definitely somebody that Trevor Lawrence relies on, and he's been with him being out of the offense. I think this is a big part of why the Jags have been struggling a little bit. So $5,500, I feel confident with Zay Jones. I'm going to actually move him into a bunch of the lineups I have. Moving on to tight end. Well, let's get to Smokey the Cat first. He goes, as of today, for weeks 14 through 16, Mayfield or Stafford. Thanks. Not a problem. Let me double check their particular matchups because I don't really know their matchups at this moment in time. I got to pull them up. So let me take an extra second for you here. So we got Stafford, Baltimore, Washington, and the Saints. Okay. Baltimore, Washington, and the Saints. Atlanta, Green Bay, Jacksonville for Baker. See, we got a lot of weeks. We got 3 weeks in between all this. So with the 3 weeks prior to this, it makes things a little bit more complicated for me. Stafford is the better QB. If he stays healthy, it's definitely Stafford. So I think it's definitely, in my eyes, Stafford might be the better bet. He probably has the harder schedule. Baker is going against Atlanta and Jacksonville. Those are the two that you'll probably need. I don't think you can really give up either. Green Bay is the only hard, the really difficult one. They both have good pass rushes. I think Stafford. Yeah, I'm going to lean Stafford. You're not going to like week 14, but you're going to like the rest. So I think I'm going to lean Stafford for that particular question. All right, let's get you guys some tight end value picks real quick for DFS. You can go to the very top of the list, which is Kittle. He's at $7,000, or you can go down a little bit more. I don't mind taking Laporta, but if you don't want to take Laporta, you can go with Jake Ferguson at $6,000 going against Carolina. They have been a sieve to tight ends recently without Jeremy Chin. So I would take that. Trey McBride is another guy at $5,900. He has been just a target hog for that particular offense, and he's been playing well lately. $5,900 against the Houston Texans. It might be a tougher matchup. Petrie is actually one of the better he's one of the better safeties in the league, so I can see maybe a downtick today. but for $5,900, it's worth the gamble. Dalton Kincaid at 5,800 versus the Jets. This is a good matchup for him and has been a reliable target for Josh Allen. I could see them getting him a lot more involved as of now. So he is definitely somebody. And another guy, Logan Thomas at $5,300. Anytime you play the Giants, just always assume the tight end has the best matchup. We can never cover the tight end. I don't understand it. Logan Thomas, good price point. Everyone below him is a little bit tough. Darnell Parham might not be a horrible option as well with Gerald Everett out. Also, this is the lowest you're ever going to get Pratt Freiermuth, but it's one of the toughest matchups. So I don't suggest him. It's just a very, really rough matchup, but he's the lowest I would go. Everyone lower than that, I just don't feel confident in. So I'm not going to go with those guys. All right, let's go with DST value picks for today. You can go to the very top and go with the Cowboys, who are the obvious pick, right? I have the Commanders in a bunch of leagues. I have the Browns in a bunch of leagues. If you want to get out of that, I think the Browns are probably the best choice at value, but also their opponent as well, the Pittsburgh Steelers at $4,000. I think I could go with Pittsburgh here. I think they're a good option as well. Texans right above them at $4,100 against Arizona. Like I said, they're a good pass rush defense. Ridley back. I see them. I see that game as being a good game where they can get a decent amount of sacks to keep up. Also, this is going to be against all contrary of what I've been saying all day. But if you really want to spend down, and I understand the reasoning why people won't do it, but here's why you should. New York Giants, DST, $5,300, going against the Washington Commanders and Sam Howell, who is the most sacked quarterback in the league. Now, I already can tell you can pick the Commanders in most redraft leagues. I have them in almost all mine that I have a DST in. And yes, it's mostly Tommy DeVito. He's going to make mistakes. It's just going to happen. Sam Howell is in the same boat. And Giants defense tends to be more of a pass rush. They do have Thibodeau in today, and they're down Adoree Jackson. So that's a little bit rough. So it's at this point where I know that the Giants defense is their best asset, and Sam Howell can throw the ball a ton. I honestly think that at this point, he's the most sacked quarterback. Take advantage of it. The hard part is you might get beat up. That's all. Like, this is a tough pick if you're going to make it. But just going with that particular stat line, like, it's just how it goes. So those are my DFS value picks. Make sure you guys take advantage and play some DFS if you can. Make sure you guys check out Underdog Fantasy as well. If you haven't already, make sure you guys use the promo code GETRIGHT, and they will help you. They will double your first deposit at checkout. So make sure you guys use the promo code GETRIGHT. It will help the channel immensely. So please make sure you guys use the promo code GETRIGHT. Also, make sure you guys check out our friends over at TrophySmack.com. We are giving away this beautiful 1,000 subscriber giveaway ring. This will be going out to one of our subscribers. So please make sure you guys check out our 1,000 subscriber giveaway show. We will be giving it away on Wednesday. So make sure you guys watch this video that I have posted up right now, and make sure you guys put the hashtag at the bottom of the comments so that you guys have an opportunity to win. We will be giving this away on Wednesday. So check it out. All righty. So we got Smokey the Cat saying, thank you. Enjoyed the games today. Of course, my friend, I am excited about all these games that we have coming up this particular weekend. We have some really good matchups in store for a lot of people. I think the big ones are, the Monday night game, of course, with our, the Kelsey brothers facing off. We have a lot of brothers facing off today. A lot of, I think for the Lions and Bears game, there's, the St. Browns are going to be facing each other, the Sewells, and a few others on that team. I think there's 3 different brother combinations in this particular matchup. So that's going to be fun to watch. But that should be a fun game altogether to watch. I think that's a good NFC North battle that we can get I can wrap my brain around and like. You can view the Steelers game as a good one or not. 2 good defenses going against each other against 2 bad offenses. The other game is the Jets game going against the Bills. I think that should be a fun one to watch. So, yeah. Blake Roberts goes full PPR, Tyler Lockett or Amari Cooper. I'm going to lean Tyler Lockett. Now, the caveat is, unfortunately, he is questionable. He is more of a game time decision. He has played through injury. He played last week through it. He should be playing this week through it. I didn't see anything against the contrary. He's expected to play. Let me see. Let me double check my notes here because I think he was listed. Yeah, there we go. So from Ian Rappaport, it says Tyler Lockett is listed as questionable, but there is optimism that he goes. Sources say he'll have a pregame workout. So he is a true game time decision. You won't be able to pivot to Amari Cooper. I don't trust Cooper as much as I do Tyler Lockett. So the thing is if you have Lockett as your option, I hope you have a 4 o'clock guy that you can pivot to. So I'm going to say Lockett with a pivot option. I don't know how much I trust Amari Cooper with DTR. DTR, he's not a passer. He's basically Lamar light. He tends to be one of those people. He tends to be one of those people that tends to run first. So just be aware of that. These are 2 really tough options for me. Cooper's the number 1 on his team, so it's hard for me to tell you not to play him. But Lockett being hurt and going against the Rams, that's a tough one because if he doesn't play, you're screwed. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully you have a pivot option. If you don't, then I would probably lean Cooper and just you're rolling the dice. Now, granted, Lockett could aggravate the injury. So if you want the healthier guy, the better option, it's probably Amari Cooper. Matchup wise and all the other things, it would probably be Lockett. So it's based on how much risk your team is willing to have in this particular scenario. And like I said, if you have a 4 o'clock option to pivot to, I might lean Lockett, wait till you hear, from them and then go from there. But it's a big risk with his injury. He could go off, but would you rather him go off on your bench and be like, oh, okay, I'm glad that I, took it's a risk. It's a risk either way. You also have Deontay Johnson. I feel a little bit more confident in Deontay than I do Cooper, and that's saying a lot, considering the quarterbacks involved in this particular matchup. I think that this game is going to be a very low-scoring game, to say the least. We were talking about it before. It's 34.5 points, I think it is. That's a low over-under. I don't see a lot of points in this game. Do I see yardage and stuff like that in full PPR? I mean, they have to pivot a little bit to the fact that they pretty much just ran Jalen Warren the whole time last time, threw it to Pickens here and there because he was a little crybaby, and Deontay only had like 2 targets. So it's hard for me to pivot to him, but he's the healthier option, better quarterback. I might lean Deontay, even though the matchup's a lot tougher because the Browns have been very good against the wide receiver. Browns are currently, what are they, first? Yeah, they are number 1 against the wide receiver, and it's because they get to the quarterback so quickly. And that's because they are just very good, with their pass rush. Myles Garrett is out of his mind, playing well. It's so hard to tell you go the opposite way. The Steelers, on the other hand, are at the bottom of the pile at 28. So maybe Cooper is probably the better play. So I think I'm going to go Cooper based on what I just saw. But the problem is you're rolling the dice with DTR. So that's a tough one. I would take Lockett out of the equation because of the concept of his injury. You have Deontay and Cooper are both healthy. You just have to pick between the quarterbacks, and it's which quarterback you like more, Kenny Pickett or DTR. I prefer Kenny Pickett, but I understand the matchup. DTR is young, inexperienced, going against a pretty good pass rush in their own right for the Steelers. That's where I'm having my issue. But if Cooper can, play out of his mind like he usually does, he might be the better option. It's just these two guys, wow, these are three guys that going around in circles. Perry Williams, what's going on, man? Throw your question in the chat. I'm going to be wrapping this up soon. I don't have many viewers on at the moment, so I'm going to wrap it up. I do have a couple of errands that I wanted to run prior to game time if I can. So throw those questions in the chat for the last few minutes. I will get to your questions because I'm here for you guys. So make sure you guys throw everything in so that I can help you out. All righty. We got Brian Mick in the house. He goes, which one would you start? Adam Thielen, Addison, or Garrett Wilson? Well, you have an abundance of riches here. My gut is saying Thielen, but the matchup is difficult. Cowboys are third against the wide receiver. Denver is a lot lower on that list at 25. Now, to be fair, a lot of their particular metrics are a little bit skewed because of their Miami game where they got just destroyed. But Addison is a good option. Wilson is out of these three. It's so hard because Zach Wilson's such a horrible quarterback. Joshua Dobbs has been playing well. Garrett Wilson's been getting more involved though. So it's hard to really tell you. These are three really good options. Thielen, I like. So who am I sitting from this group? Perry, yes. Alexander Madison is active. So if you want to load him in, throw him in. He's Sunday night game. So who would I sit out of these? Jaden Reed. Like Jaden Reed a lot. Just like how he plays. And he's very much involved. Brian, man, this is a tough one. Who would you sit? My gut is Addison, but he's been playing out of his mind lately. It's just, let me see what I got here. I got to look at stats now and I can't really. Oh, you're already starting Puka, huh? All right. He got 7 targets last week against the Saints. Yeah. See, that's how I'm feeling too. Like against the Saints last week, he had 7 targets. He was 4 for 69, which is not a bad price, not a bad stat line. That's 10.5 points. Then Garrett Wilson's hurt. My only thing that's throwing me off a little bit is Garrett Wilson and his injury going against the Bills. Bills can be beat through the air though because they've lost a lot of their wide receiver or their D-backs, so they're pretty thin even with him hurt, I think he should do well. Thielen going against the Cowboys. Hopefully the change in the change in play calling would be helpful. But yeah, I think Addison has to be my sit here. So you would be playing Puka, Thielen, and Wilson. I think that's your best bet, man. And if you can find a way to find Addison into like your flex or something, maybe. But if you're good at running back, that might be the only reason why you're not trying to do that. I mean, I know I'm in situations where I need to play certain guys like that. So, damn, that was a really good question. I really like ones like that. Really challenges my thought process. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. So, I like that. Oh, you're flexing Kincaid? Ooh, and here's the fun part. I love Kincaid, but would I do it? It's very hard for me to flex a tight end unless I'm in situations where I have no other choice. In one of my leagues, I lost a lot of guys to injury, and I have to flex Laporta and I have Laporta and Ingram, and I played both. Those situations make sense. If you have Addison and you're starting him over Kincaid, that's where I wouldn't say my issue is, but that's where I would maybe think if you really want to play your wide receivers, throw that in. I understand Kincaid has been playing out of his mind and has been doing well with Josh Allen recently. That's a tough one. So it's between Kincaid and Addison here. I normally would tell you to play the wide receiver over the tight end. And I have a feeling Jets are going to they're going to have to focus on Diggs, but I think they're not really too worried with Sauce. I think they're going to pretty much play normally. They're not going to try to do too much. Keep Sauce on an island. He should be fine. Jets do have some decent linebackers that can cover him with Mosley, but then that takes them away from James Cook. I think they're going to run the ball a little more today, keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands a little bit, just to, give up, they don't want him to turn over the ball more. But then that means being smart with the ball, which would mean keeping it in the intermediate route, which would be Kincaid. Addison going against Denver. He's going to be against Surtain. Dobbs tends to run a little bit more, but he makes things work. Denver played well against the Bills and shut down the wide receiver a little bit. Okay. I get why you're playing Kincaid. Sorry, I have to do all that math in my head. You guys throw these. I got all these on, thrown at me. I got to think about it for a minute. You guys have had all week to think about it. I have only like 10 seconds of or a minute of airtime to kind of figure that one out. So I had to break that down in my head a little bit. Okay. I can understand why you're playing Kincaid now. Oof. You have a good roster. So I will give you that. Good roster there. I really like it. All right. Make sure you guys throw your questions in the chat before I get out of here. Yeah, man, that's a really tough matchup. I don't blame you for playing Kincaid. I know I remember one time or a few years, well, I wouldn't say years ago, but I'd say at least a year ago, 2 years ago, I was playing 3 tight ends at all times. I had Darren Waller, I had George Kittle, and who was the other guy I had? Evan Ingram. And I was playing all 3 of those guys at one point when they were in their prime. Like Kittle, Waller, and Ingram in their primes. I have no problem playing all 3 if you need to, if you're in situations like that. Kincaid seems to be getting up to that point. I get it. Completely understand it. Now that I have an idea, definitely going to do that. So, alrighty. For those that are in the chat, make sure you throw your questions in. I'm going to be wrapping this up any minute unless we have more questions. Make sure you guys check out Underdog Fantasy if you haven't already. Please use the promo code GETRIGHT. This helps out the channel. They will also help you doubling your first deposit. So make sure you guys check out Underdog Fantasy and use the promo code GETRIGHT when you do. Sorry that I had Trophy Smack up at the same time. All right. We got Ray W back. He goes, I lost Andrews, Taysom Hill, and Hunter Henry rest of the season. I'm gonna go Taysom Hill. Prove me otherwise. Like he's been doing very well lately. They're on a bye this week, so it's tough that you don't have him to play. You already played Andrews, most likely. So I just don't trust Hunter Henry. I have him in a few leagues, and it's very hard for me to go play Hunter. Just can't do it. So, yeah, I'm going to go Taysom Hill rest of the season. He's the dude, man. He's been playing real out of his mind. And honestly, I've always liked Taysom Hill in general. So make sure, I think that's the guy that you're going to have to roll with for the rest of the season. JAF. Give me a little more clarity. Don't know what that means. Oh, there we go. Jags or Jets D. Ooh. I'm going to have to go Jags. It's so hard to trust the Jets defense against a guy like Josh Allen. Do I think that they could do well? Absolutely. They are an awesome pass rush. I'm just nervous that they will take advantage in other ways. They are a good offense. I know the change is everyone is getting scared. I have to lean the Jags. Going against a rookie, they have a really good pass rush. They might have to lean on the run. Titans tend to do okay against Jaguars against the run. Yeah. I'm going Jags here. That's tough. That's a tough one. Why are you adding? All my buddies take this opportunity while I'm on the show to start making moves that I have no idea why. So I'm trying to understand why people make certain moves at certain times, and it makes some sense. I'm just trying to figure out why. I'll look at that later. All righty, we got Ray with Pollard or DJ Moore, full PPR. Damn, you guys give me good questions here. I'm leaning Pollard, but the problem is he's just been so bad lately. He's due for a game shortly. I'm always going to lean more the running back than I am the wide receiver, but I think the way that you beat the Lions is through the air. Lions are 26th against the pass. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go DJ Moore here. I'm gonna be a recency bias guy. I'm gonna have to lean. Yeah, I'm gonna have to lean DJ Moore. Gonna have to go DJ Moore here. So I think it's the best guy that you can go with at this moment. So DJ Moore, quick option. Hold on one sec. Oh, that's why. Decent value. And he's just trying to get anything. Okay, cool. All right, boys and girls, make sure you guys throw your questions in the chat. I'm going to wrap this up as soon as I go through our affiliates. Make sure you guys check out the Fantasy Frontline podcast with Tim and AJ, as well as the Checkdown podcast with Cody McGoats and the crew. They are every Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern, so make sure you guys check out them. Also, keep an eye out for the Dead Zone Fantasy Show with our very own Dem Boys. Adam should be here shortly giving you guys great content. Also, I know they're not on this list, but also check out guys like Dynasty Pylon. Martin over at Dynasty Pylon does a wonderful job. A lot of IDP, does a lot of Dynasty as well. So if you're into that type of stuff, he does a wonderful job breaking that stuff down, as well as our FF Tycoon, our very own Tycoon. He does a wonderful job. So check him out as well at the Fantasy Boardroom. He's also in our Sleeper channel. He is there all the time. So make sure you guys check him out and check out our fantasy channel below. That is all in the description. Anything that you guys need, our Twitter handles, our private sleeper channel, all that fun stuff. So later, Mike. Can't wait for the draft. Caleb Williams. Oh, God. I'm not ready to have this conversation yet. Not ready. Not ready. I'd rather have Marvin Harrison. At the end of the day, it would be a disservice to him. So, drafting a wide receiver that high is just not worth it. But having Daniel Jones on his contract, we can't cut him for 2 years. So what's the point of having Caleb Williams when he's going to be the highest paid backup in the league? I can't see us doing it. We're in a tough spot. We're almost better off trading out, but if we're trading out, I'm only trading out until like the 5th pick or something like that. Like, I'm not going to give up anything crazy for it. But yeah, we're in a rough spot. Rough spot, Giants fans. Rough spot. So with that being said, I hope everybody enjoys their week 11 matchups. Good luck to everybody, unless you're going against me. I will see you guys next Friday. We should be here on Friday. We'll see. It is Thanksgiving, so, Black Friday. But we will see if we're going to be around on Friday or Saturday. We're going to have to wait and see. Might be Friday, but who knows? We will be here on Wednesday to give away our 1,000 subscriber giveaway video. So make sure you guys check this out right here. We will be giving that away. I posted the link up in the chat, so make sure you guys check that out as well. We will be giving that away on Wednesday. So for Frank, for Dustin, for Rasta, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the video if you haven't already, and we will see you all soon. Peace.
Wanted to white fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided.